Bom dia a todos. Vamos iniciar então os nossos trabalhos, apesar do atraso de alguns dos participantes, mas é absolutamente normal nestas coisas. Excelentíssimo Sr. Engenheiro Joaquim Cunha, Diretor Executivo do L-Cluster Portugal, Excelentíssimos Srs. Professores Joaquim Sampaio Cabral, Instituto Superior Técnico, e Miguel Castanho, da Faculdade de Medicina. Eu tenho que dizer isto de uma forma muito sentida, digníssimos co-chairs da Rede Saúde e devotados companheiros de um conjunto de iniciativas que desde 2013 temos desenvolvido no âmbito da intervenção da Rede Saúde, Rede Temática Interdisciplinar da Saúde da Universidade de Lisboa, caros parceiros institucionais e empresariais, professores e investigadores da Universidade de Lisboa e outros convidados e participantes. Desde já, e em nome do Reitor da Universidade de Lisboa, professor António Cruz Serra, ausente em missão oficial na China, agradeço a todos a vossa presença e a participação ativa nos trabalhos ao longo do dia de hoje. Permitam-me destacar, em particular, os nossos conferencistas convidados, Armin Pscherer, diretor do German Collocation Center do EIT Health, e Catarina Angros, da área de Science Policy da European Federation of Pharmaceutical Industries and Associations, bem como representantes da IBM, da Microsoft, da Siemens, da Medtronic, da Pfizer, da Novartis, da Merck & Co, MSD em Portugal, e da Roche Pharma, que connosco partilharão a sua visão ao longo do dia de hoje. Amanhã teremos ainda connosco parceiros empresariais que nos têm acompanhado na área da saúde, mas que falarão no contexto da rede de valores, rede temática interdisciplinar do empreendedorismo e transferência de conhecimento da Universidade de Lisboa, nomeadamente, e destaco aqui pelo trabalho que vem desenvolvendo há longo tempo connosco, Cláudia Vaz da Ovion, atual co-diretora do Innovation no InnoStars no contexto do EIT Health, e a Filipa Fisch, da Portugal Telecom, MEO, co-diretora do Business Creation no InnoStars, também no contexto do EIT Health. Estamos hoje aqui para realizar a 2ª Conferência Anual da Rede Saúde da Universidade de Lisboa, num momento particularmente importante e enquadrado pela primeira Semana da Inovação da Universidade de Lisboa. A Universidade de Lisboa ocupa hoje uma posição relevante no contexto universitário internacional, resultante da herança centenária da UEL e da UTL, cuja fusão, operada a 25 de junho de 2013, criou um novo cenário no quadro do ensino universitário português, mas igualmente no posicionamento da investigação universitária perante o tecido económico e empresarial. De facto, a Universidade de Lisboa representou, ao longo de um período de 5 anos, uma média de cerca de 1/3 do investimento público em ciência e tecnologia nas universidades portuguesas. Quase 40% do retorno financeiro para Portugal em projetos do FP7, investindo anualmente quase 100 milhões de euros em ID, dos quais cerca de 20% em contratos com o setor empresarial. Uma universidade que é hoje a 22ª a nível europeu no ranking CIMAGO da Elsevier, da produtividade científica ponderada, ocupando a 14ª posição na matemática, a 15ª posição nas engenharias e a 28ª posição nas ciências agrárias entre as congêneres europeias. Esta nova realidade traz consigo um conjunto de desafios, em que devo realçar novas oportunidades e novas responsabilidades. As novas oportunidades que resultam desta nova estrutura, agregando pela primeira vez todas as áreas de conhecimento, e de poder agora avançar decididamente para patamares nunca imaginados de projeção internacional em vários domínios do conhecimento, com um reforço óbvio nas áreas de intervenção interdisciplinar, criando valor através da integração de plataformas científicas, abrangendo para além dos pilares verticais do conhecimento e criando oportunidades para a integração entre áreas diversas do conhecimento dirigidas para a solução de problemas em concreto. Obviamente também novas responsabilidades. E novas responsabilidades porque uma universidade desta dimensão, nível de desempenho e capacidade instalada, deve liderar processos inovadores em parceria com a economia e o setor empresarial, assumindo a sua vocação de parceira essencial das empresas que, a partir de Portugal, se pretendam posicionar num contexto mais alargado de mercado, assente na geração de inovação, resultante de novo conhecimento científico e tecnológico e inovação nos processos e estratégias de internacionalização. Aliás, trata-se de um posicionamento que iniciámos antes mesmo da aprovação formal das estratégias de investigação e de especialização inteligente. Começámos quando desafiámos as 6 maiores universidades portuguesas e a FCT, incluindo a Sra. Secretária de Estado da Ciência, para um processo de candidatura ao programa Widespread Teaming, que conduziu à definição de áreas prioritárias de intervenção nos setores da saúde, do mar e do agroalimentar e floresta. Gostaria de referir aqui o papel determinante que o professor Joaquim Sampaio Cabral tem ocupado no desenvolvimento da candidatura que já teve sucesso na primeira fase e que se encontra neste momento na definição do Business Plan, de um novo Centro de Excelência Internacional em Portugal para a área da medicina regenerativa e personalizada, o The Discovery Center, que aliás tem um nome poético e que ressoa muito na nossa história portuguesa e que nos faz bem à alma recordar algumas coisas do passado. O posicionamento internacional da Universidade de Lisboa em novas plataformas é já uma realidade com as candidaturas vitoriosas da Universidade de Lisboa às Knowledge Innovation Communities da energia, ainda antes da fusão, e da saúde mais recentemente, que são já hoje áreas de intervenção sob a coordenação do European Institute of Innovation and Technology. O recentemente aprovado EIT Health constitui uma Business Innovation Area com cerca de 2 mil milhões de euros de investimento projetado para os próximos 7 anos, em parceria envolvendo 142 entidades europeias. Teremos hoje connosco o diretor do German Collocation Center deste EIT Health. Gostaria de referir também que a Universidade de Lisboa se tem vindo a organizar de uma forma decidida para responder a esses desafios e não só desde o final de 2013 agregámos a nós um conjunto de 35 parceiros que desde essa altura constituíram o Lisbon Living Plus, como depois da candidatura bem-sucedida ao EIT Health, em que participam mais 5 parceiros com a Universidade de Lisboa na zona de Lisboa, e refiro nomeadamente o quadro da Universidade de Évora, mas também o Centro Hospitalar de Lisboa Norte, a Câmara Municipal de Lisboa, a Portugal Telecom e a Ovion, e temos, dizia eu, dentro da própria Universidade de Lisboa, desenvolvido um esforço de organização suplementar para a resposta a esse desafio. E é por isso que, nos banners que encontram lá fora relativamente ao EIT Health, vêm assinaladas também os logos das 10 escolas que participam ativamente nesta estrutura no interior da Universidade de Lisboa. Uma parte importante nestes processos desenvolvidos a uma mega escala seria impossível de ser desenvolvida apenas ao nível das 18 escolas, dos seus 76 centros de investigação ou das 93 startups da Universidade de Lisboa. Têm sido as redes temáticas interdisciplinares a fazer um esforço no sentido dessa agregação e, neste caso em particular, a Rede Saúde. Um aspecto estratégico e de natureza crítica, demonstrando já excelentes resultados na primeira fase, foram e são os workshops realizados à porta fechada entre as redes temáticas interdisciplinares e empresas dos respectivos setores, agregando as competências relevantes da Universidade de Lisboa para a solução dos problemas e desafios suscitados em concreto pelas empresas. O workshop com empresas realizado pela Rede Saúde no Instituto para a Investigação Interdisciplinar da Universidade de Lisboa, 3IS, no passado dia 18 de abril, na sequência da conferência realizada no passado dia 2 de fevereiro, constituíram momentos importantes de identificação do roadmap estratégico e do desenvolvimento de parcerias com dezenas de empresas no setor da saúde. Agradeço desde já às empresas que connosco têm realizado este percurso pela partilha absolutamente insubstituível que contribui muito para a melhoria dos nossos processos e estratégias de investigação e desenvolvimento. Mas é bom reforçar ainda que a Rede de Saúde, tal como as restantes redes temáticas interdisciplinares, 3 no momento atual, com uma 4ª a surgir em junho e uma 5ª antes do final do ano, desenvolvem os seus processos a um nível macro e com uma massa crítica para a realização do trabalho interdisciplinar, que aí é essencial. Mas a realidade cotidiana da investigação e desenvolvimento da Universidade de Lisboa realiza-se todos os dias nas suas 18 escolas, nos seus 76 centros de investigação, nas suas 93 startups e nos cerca de 8.500 investigadores, se incluirmos ao pessoal da Universidade os mais de 4.000 alunos de doutoramento numa comunidade académica de dimensão única no tecido universitário português. Esse quadro inclui, obviamente, os colégios da Universidade de Lisboa, um dos quais é dedicado já hoje à área da saúde, o Colégio Mente e Cérebro, e que, apesar de serem projetos de dimensão limitada no tempo, serão, tudo indica, 7 colégios já em 2016, contribuindo para um reforço importante da formação pós-graduada e da investigação interdisciplinar. Como vos disse no início desta intervenção, este é, sim, um momento ímpar para o desenvolvimento da rede temática interdisciplinar da saúde, Rede Saúde da Universidade de Lisboa. Agradeço a todos os presentes a sua participação e desde já informo que a transmissão em direto para toda a comunidade universitária e empresarial interessada marca também um momento de abertura da Universidade de Lisboa. Não só qualquer pessoa interessada pode assistir hoje em direto a estas sessões de trabalho, mas também brevemente as poderá rever no âmbito do canal YouTube da Universidade de Lisboa. O trabalho aqui realizado hoje será também considerado nos trabalhos a desenvolver no âmbito da Rede Saúde já a partir da próxima semana, incluindo as parcerias em desenvolvimento com o setor empresarial, os processos associados ao The Discovery Center e ao trabalho em desenvolvimento nas áreas Campus Education, Innovation e Business Creation do AT Health. Finalmente, uma palavra para esta semana. Quisemos marcar a semana com um conjunto de iniciativas que designámos por primeira Semana da Inovação da Universidade de Lisboa. Nesta semana, incluímos 4 conferências de redes da Universidade de Lisboa e espaços positivos de incubadoras da Universidade de Lisboa, dos seus centros de investigação, das suas startups, mas também de alguns parceiros institucionais, como a Tagus Park, a Lisboa Startup, a Agência Nacional de Inovação e o Instituto Nacional da Propriedade Industrial. Desde já posso anunciar que este caminho será aprofundado e desenvolvido com a realização da 2ª Semana da Inovação da Universidade de Lisboa, que decorrerá em maio de 2016. A todos o meu muito obrigado por estarem presentes e sinceros votos de um bom dia de trabalho. Muito obrigado. E passaria a palavra agora ao engenheiro Joaquim Cunha, diretor executivo da Alcalestra Portugal.
Sr. Professor Rogério Gaspar, vice-reitor da Universidade de Lisboa, Sr. Professor Joaquim Sampaio Cabral, Sr. Professor Miguel Castanho, co-chair da Rede de Lisboa, minhas senhoras e meus senhores, eu naturalmente teria que começar por um agradecimento ao amável convite para aqui estar hoje. Para o Health Cluster Portugal e para mim próprio é particularmente gratificante poder estar associado a uma iniciativa como esta. E da jornada de hoje, eu gostaria de salientar 2 pontos. Um, que eu diria que é um ponto implícito, que são as redes, e outro, eu diria o das redes era explícito, e o implícito é sobretudo a questão dos modelos de negócio. No que toca às redes, no fundo, o que hoje aqui iremos falar e aquilo que nos convoca esta conferência são as redes internas, são também as redes externas, são as redes nacionais, são as redes europeias. É sobretudo, no meu modesto entender, uma mudança de paradigma. Uma mudança de paradigma em termos da organização nacional da cadeia de valor da saúde, que pretende ter mais coesão, naturalmente mais escala e massa crítica, necessariamente mais competitividade e, sobretudo, diria como uma orientação às necessidades do mercado global. E aqui, este conceito de mercado, podemos discuti-lo. Muitas vezes, e eu penso que ainda temos no nosso ordenamento algum medo relativamente a esta palavra. A palavra mercado ainda nos causa algum receio, mas não tenho grandes dúvidas que é aqui uma keyword neste domínio. E este seria, então, o primeiro ponto, as redes. O segundo, os modelos de negócio, que eu dizia que, de alguma forma, está aqui implícito. Eu acho que este é, porventura, o nosso grande desafio e onde necessitamos todos, de investir mais esforço. E estou naturalmente a pensar no lado empresarial, onde isto parece mais ou menos óbvio, mas estou também, e permitam-me que diga cada vez mais, a pensar no lado da academia, no lado das universidades, no lado dos institutos, em que esta dinâmica tem que estar cada vez mais na ordem do dia. Permitam-me a expressão, saber como nos vendemos, salvo seja, naturalmente. E concluiria dizendo que achei particularmente feliz a aposta e a insistência no envolvimento das empresas globais nos vários painéis do dia. precisamente porque por estas, no meu entender, passará parte da resposta a estes dois pontos, concretamente às redes e aos modelos de negócio. Isto é, eu penso que as companhias globais são aqui agentes privilegiados do acesso ao mercado global. Estas temáticas para o Health Cluster Portugal são particularmente caras, às quais temos vindo a dar particular atenção. E estou em crer, e permitam-me, digamos, que vos massacre com esta insistência, que esta temática dos modelos de negócio é, porventura, o ponto crítico. É aqui que nós vamos ter que investir, é aqui que estão as dificuldades. As dificuldades não estão no lado de descoberta, as dificuldades não estão no lado tecnológico, as dificuldades não estão no lado científico, as dificuldades estão, sobretudo, na forma como nos vamos posicionar, como nos vamos, volto a insistir, como nos vamos vender. Eu concluiria desejando um bom dia de trabalho e renovando os agradecimentos pelo amável convite para aqui estar. Muito obrigado.
Bom dia a todos. Eu vou passar agora para inglês, devido ao nosso first speaker. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Armin Pscherer. He is the managing director of the German EIT Health, which is the German co-location center for the European Institute of Innovation and Technology, Health, Knowledge and Innovation Community that our Vice-Reitor has already talked about. He's also, as you've heard already, this is something that involves over 140 partners, 2 billion euros, so it's a very, very big initiative. Our university is, of course, very, very interested and involved in this, and we're very much looking forward to hearing what Dr. Pscherer has to share with us. He is also, importantly, the interim manager for innovation, for the innovation portfolio of the entire EIT Health initiative at the moment. He hopes not to be in that role for very long because they're actively searching for the non-interim director, but nonetheless he is the interim director for the innovation, and so it's very important for us to hear what he has to tell us about. Before this new adventure, he was head of project and science manager and director of the BioRN Innovation Center. The BioRN is a really interesting thing in Germany, which is, as he was just telling me, very much at the German scale, at a local scale, what the EIT Health is at the international European scale, which is a congregation of very, very cutting-edge companies with very, very good research institutes, centers, universities, and so on. So really, this link between academia and industry and business is already very present there. That's the same thing that we're trying to do with the overall EIT Health initiative. And so I'm assuming that's how he also came into this from that very important experience already. Originally, he has a PhD in molecular biology. He worked in cancer research, and now he's doing all of these very important things that we'll look forward to hearing about. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tiago, for that kind introduction. That's not mine. The Lisbon one. Thanks a lot. Thank you. And I'm also appreciate very much the invitation by Universidad de Lisbon and Vice Rector Professor Gaspar, and giving me the opportunity here to introduce EIT Health to our community, which is the main task now for the upcoming years and months. Yeah, thank you very much. Before I will start, I pick up some water. Thank you. So, Tiago already introduced my responsibility at the moment for EIT Health, which is all quite new to us, and I hope I will bring you in within the next minutes more about structure, intention, and perspectives. First, to start with, of course, our ambitions are very high in EIT Health. How it should be. So it's about global competition and in a business perspective, especially with US and Asia. It's about answers for the challenges of demographic change. And it's especially about so further development to develop the performance of healthcare through better integration of capacities for new innovative products and services. And last but not least, also about share knowledge and grow talent and skills. To summarize, our ambitions are high because we really have to focus on joint forces and focus on delivery as outcomes. This is the main goal, the main objective we have towards the EIT itself, the European body, and towards our community, our citizens. So the agenda for my talk today is more or less some spotlights, to give you spotlights here on a little bit on history and background of EIT Health, and on structure and content, on innovation thinking we are convinced of, which needs to be really putting different scales on, about the motivations of the partners, which joined already, and about opportunities of partners. So stepping into a little bit into a history and background. This was the picture of our presenting team on December 9th last year. And this was the day of the pitch in Budapest, where the EIT is located, where the three final consortia pitched for the winner. So this is Conde Baccare from Karl Leuven, Luthina Wozniak, Medical University Lodz, Ursula Redeker, CEO of Roche Diagnostics, Ulla Weber from University Copenhagen, and Elio Riboli, Imperial College London. This was our pitch team, and which was really successful on that day, really to recruit EIT Health for our consortium. And this is the reason where InnoLife turns into EIT Health, because EIT Health is the official name given by EIT to all KICs. So not health, but EIT, and then the technology sector. And InnoLife was the name of our consortia initiative over the last 4-5 years. So we have prepared since 2010 for the competition in 2014. So this is the reason why in some statements you maybe have remaining wording of InnoLife proposal or initiative. So funding period is 7 to 14 years. After 7 years, we will have a kind of not a classical, but a kind of a midterm evaluation. I will come to the outputs, to the KPIs later on, which we have to deliver, and a budget of up to 80 million euro EIT contribution per year, up to. So it's much less in the starting years and growing up to the years 7, and then for the second period, then falling down again. Yeah. So these are the key marks. Some additional key facts about EIT Health, about our consortium itself. As I said, we had already just around a 5-year preparation time of the InnoLife initiative, with tight collaboration. in a proposal, and currently we are 52 core partners on the upper level, on the international level, and 92 associate partners on the national levels, on the co-location centers and InnoStars levels. 6 co-location centers plus 6 InnoStar regions. So meanwhile, these are 8 regions, InnoStars. So, and what is interesting is that regarding the source of the partners, we are really spanning the continuum of health. So we have a cross-sectoral spanning of partner categories like pharma, medtech, ICT, imaging, diagnostics, consumer lifestyles, payers, hospitals, and public bodies also. This is, of course, not only important, this is essential if you really are intending to change crucial settings in health on a European level. So we have also top European universities, research institutes, all of the technology sectors relevant for health, and we have already established on a national level infrastructures of essential for the value chain, like test beds and living labs, or technology transfer offices, incubators, and also a venture capital community, but on a national level. And the main goal now for the first 1 or 2 years is really to connect these national levels, these national infrastructures on a European level for better usage. The main challenges in 2015, I will introduce in a few slides. So for us as a management, as an interim management, and as a co-location in InnoStars management level, especially, here you see a timeline only for 2015 we have to deliver towards EIT. So first we already have finished with signing up the startup grant. The startup grant is only for 2015 awarded by EIT and is aimed to set up structures, operations. This is the main first difference of EIT Health to usual EU initiatives. This is not a virtual consortium. This is a real business-driven consortium. You need to found legal entities on the international headquarter level and also on the CLC and InnoStar level. So that means really implement structures and operations, staff, headcounts. So this startup grant is only for 2015. This was already finished. Then we have to submit in September, end of September this year, the business plan, the KIC, EIT Health business plan. This business plan needs to be submitted every year. So every year, EIT Health needs to submit a business plan, and based on this submitted business plan, EIT decides for the funding for each KIC, also for EIT Health, for the upcoming year. Yeah? So that means in Q1, the activity expense plan, which is more or less here as a startup grant, was prepared. Now we are in a process of preparation of the business plan here. This is the main goal. In parallel, we are working on a legal, financial, operational readiness on a headquarter, international level, and also on the national levels. That means EU contracts need to be signed, legal entities needs to be founded, and staff needs to be contracted and recruited to be operational, at least here. Also in parallel, at the moment, we are recruiting first projects for the business plan to be included in the business plan. So our first EIT Health open call is still open, only for 1 week. So the deadline is June 22nd. But this is also in parallel in the first year now. So of course, call will be opened every year. So we will have own annual calls where the individual topics we can set by our own within the community, EIT Health community. This is also a main difference to usual consortia EU consortia or initiatives. A little bit on background or history, 1 or 2 slides about EIT itself. So European Institute of Innovation and Technology was founded 2008. Or the first activities were has to be observed in 2008 because they have then called for the first kicks in 2008. So it's an EU body which aim is to enhance Europe's ability here to innovate young entrepreneurial talent and supporting new ideas through the knowledge and innovation community. So these kicks are the tool for the EIT to come up with new entrepreneurial thinking and also with new innovative ideas along the value chain together with the integrated partners in the kicks. So the main tools are in these EIT and the kicks is about the integration of the knowledge triangle. I will come to that in a few seconds. To build and to connect existing centers of excellence on a national level, a pan-European, to create a new level of cooperation between innovation and excellence centers, and really to increase European sustainable growth and competitiveness, as I already have said. Motivated is a European Institute of Innovation and Technology by societal challenges. So every individual kick which is awarded should address a main European societal challenge. So this we have already discussed as an overview. Now coming to the KICS as an overview. This is an acronym for Knowledge and Innovation Communities. Highly integrated, creative, excellence-driven, under the leadership of a CEO. I have already told this is really a business-driven entrepreneurship, corporate structure. International distributed, thematically convergent partners, and one legal European community per industry sector. This is also a main difference to classical European initiatives. You only have one KIC or one European initiative called EIT Health. And this is also a main opportunity to come into a discussion with stakeholders, really on a European level, national and also on a European level, to initiate really main changes in the healthcare sector. Here a few slides on the already running KICs. As I said, 2009 was the first KICs awarded by EIT. This was a climate KIC, ICT labs, and KIC InnoEnergy. These are all now also renamed in an official EIT wording. So, for example, here ICT lab is now renamed to EIT Digital. That you have always the same branding for the KICs, EIT and the technology sector. So these were the first 3 KICs. As you see here on a technology sector, also really societal challenges, main topics on a European level. These are the 2014, 16, and 18, most probably, next steps of EIT to award the next KICs or to call for the next KICs. This we have already here fulfilled. EIT Health and EIT Raw Materials, December 14. Now, and then for 2016, 2 new KICs are planned to call for. This is added value manufacturing and Food for Future. And 2018, most probably urban mobility. The KIC model itself, we have already heard that it's based on this co-location model, in our case with 6 co-location, and together as an InnoStar model. And what's also new in the EIT setting, and a main difference to the classical EU initiatives or consortia is it's a wording here from EIT itself here, smart funding model. I will explain to you. But the main difference is really that you have a high commitment, really high commitment of the partners for co-funding, complementary funding of the total budget, of an annual total budget. That means 75% is co-funding, complementary funding, and 25% is EIT funding of the annual budget. On the first view, this looks very low in a classical setting, but I will explain to you in the next seconds why it's not. So first, the introduction into the knowledge triangle, and then coming to the funding model. So EU is here most likely talking about these settings of different thinking, student to entrepreneur. So the classical student should also come or step much more into the entrepreneurial world. Ideas much more into product and services perspectives, and lab much more into customer perspectives. And these is the basis for this so-called EIT innovation model, or the knowledge triangle, the integration of the knowledge triangle. Knowledge triangle is about higher education actors, so business actors, research actors, with respective activities. This should be all about more or less entrepreneurship, spin-offs, startups, ideas driven to services, to product development. Here, as you can see. A next step should then be, of course, in an ideal setting, about overall growth, innovation, increasing innovation capabilities, and increasing the jobs in regional and national settings. This is the knowledge triangle of EIT. Now coming to the smart funding model of EIT. As I said, of the annual budget, nevertheless, in the first years, we have less annual budget growing up in the next years, but in a total annual budget, we will have 75 complementary, so-called, in the EIT wording, complementary funding, and 25 EIT funding %. So the first main setting to understand this concept is what is about the 75%. This is not only, as you know from other funding instruments, this is not only cash or in kind. This can be or may be also other national, regional, or international third-party funding. Yeah? You can integrate in this 75%, nevertheless, whether this is academic or industry sectors partners, you can integrate here in this 75% your running, not past, third-party funding projects. This is the first main step. The second main difference, why it's not so unattractive or low, is that this concept is an added value perspective. So EIT itself talks about add value to what already exists. So this is the fact I have talked in the previous slide. If you have an existing project with an existing funding here, this is called more or less this complementary activity and complementary funding. If you are able to put on top of your existing project an added value milestone, work package, deliverable, this additional work package or milestone will be funded by EIT. So regarding only this work package, up to 100%. Yeah? So when we can play around with these numbers, in total we should have then in a whole portfolio of EIT projects and activities, in a whole portfolio, not on an individual setting, on this contribution here, 75 to 25 top funding. So this is a really on-top funding of existing money. Therefore, it's not so low or so small. Now a few words about here our setting on a partnership and on a co-location settings. These are the 6 co-location centers, Spain, France, UK, Benelux, Germany and Swiss, Scandinavia. I will not talk about the individual logos, academic partners or corporates. You can pick up your favorite one. But what is clear, we have really excellent, strong partners on an academic setting as well as on an industry setting. And we have really not only tried, we have more or less really were successful to keep the balance about 50-50 within this academic and industry setting on an international level as well as on the CLC levels. So if new partners interested to join, we always said in an optimal setting on a 1-to-1 ratio, industry and academic. Yeah. Coming then to the wider perspective, including the InnoStars, as you see, the dark blue dots here, the co-location centers, the international headquarters, the light blue dot here, will be located in Munich, in Germany. And then we have here the yellow-colored regions or countries, the InnoStars regions, which we have really included in our EIT health community, based on which reasons. You can see here, we are convinced that the InnoStars will help the EIT health community to leverage the potential here of emerging innovation hubs across Europe. So take the advantage of diversity, enhance the outreach, and further develop an emerging innovation hubs. That means to be very open, the InnoStars regions are not on that excellence level like the co-location centers, but our aim is to go with them, the stairway to that level. And on the other hand, the InnoStars can help the co-location regions to leverage talents, to leverage ideas within their regions. So, meaning starting from aligned research, business, and education goals. This is the basis in the teaming, twinning structural funds for the InnoStars. Then investment in people infrastructure, coming to a more advanced innovation excellence, and finally, hopefully, to the regional growth in the InnoStars, but also in the CLCs. That means if we regard the Horizon 2020 programs we have available and the European Structural Innovation Funds, we will have added value and vice versa benefits between all players. So between the InnoStars and between the CLCs, because here by the upstream of the bridging factor, we will help the InnoStars on the stairway to excellence. On the other side, on the downstream, the InnoStars will help the CLCs to outreach more markets, to outreach or to recruit more talents in that case. So finally, we all, especially InnoStars, but we all can work on the EIT Health key performance indicators by improving limited budget of EIT with the Horizon 2020 programs, but also with the European Structural and Innovation Funds. So we have programs within the European Structural and Innovation Funds on a national level for cooperation support, but also for product development, and also on a European level. We have these programs, COSME, or the newly introduced SME instrument on a European level. And if we connect these within our EIT Health activities, we can leverage the budget or the available funds for the partners dramatically and reach our all common KPIs more easily. A spotlight on our EIT Health KPIs. It's not so usual, so just a copy-paste from our proposal. We have KPIs, so key performance indicators, which we have to report on towards the EIT, on education, on business and innovation, and communication. So very usual ones, but also really business-driven ones. Yeah? Especially here in the business innovation sector, as you can see here. Startup spin-offs, new services, products. But also in the education sector, number of open courses offered to MOOCs, so massive open online courses. This is about not number of new graduates, 1 point here. This is about not classical graduates you are already running in your university. This is about entrepreneurship graduates, so added value training, coaching for the students. In addition, we have financial KPIs. This is more or less the challenge for the management on a CLC level, but especially on a headquarter level here. To recruit here the complementary funding, the in-kind contribution, membership contribution, not to forget these KPIs in the overall setting. As I said, it's all about delivery. This is really a different perspective. But scaling down to the activities, it's not so new. So it's really about next generation of entrepreneurs. It's about new product services. It's about startup spin-offs. And finally, growth and jobs. So it's not so new, the setting, but we have to really focus on these outcomes. This management on a national and international level will be executed by these CLCs, InnoStars, offices, and also by the so-called KIC legal entity. We call this KIC legal entity the headquarter structure. So the headquarter structure will be responsible in a governance setting here on a financial management, so strategic planning, business plan, funding allocation, project portfolio. So CLC InnoStars will be more or less responsible on a national, regional level here for facilitation, for matchmaking, for services towards the partners. Yeah? This is very important to understand. Governance, how is it structured at the moment? We are in a process of building up, so also in a process of a learning process. So all KICs are also learning communities, including EIT Health, we will see the next 2 years. So we have the CLCs, EIT Health CLCs, EIT Health InnoStars here. The partners, the core partners and associate partners here of the CLCs InnoStar build up the international legal entity partner assembly. Then we will have a supervisory board, as in classical business corporates also, supervisory board, which is mainly responsible for the management. In addition, an IP board and an so-called LC. This is about ethical, legal, and societal issues board, and a daily management board. This is the international structure. We are currently in the process of recruiting these headcounts here on the international level. So the international CEO, for example, and the directors of innovation, directors of education, directors of business creation. So this is in the process. And finally, this management board has a direct link to the EIT in Budapest with the daily business. Just as an overview. Some of you may know, but just as a summary, what's about the partner structure in EIT Health. On the upper level, we have core partner level. Upper level means these are the partners for the membership in the international, the main membership in the international legal entity. And main membership means a substantial higher membership fee than the associate partner. So the associate partner also in an international setting, but only with 1 vote per CLC or INUSTA. A lower membership commitment, but these are the main drivers of the national initiatives. And then we have project partners, which are participating in individual projects, not in the governance of EIT Health, and not as formal partners, not paying membership fees, instead project fees. And we have network partners, which are not currently included in any project, for example, can be, maybe, but important for the objectives, so the overall objectives, our goals, really to change settings in healthcare on an European level. That means, for example, regional networks, insurances, public bodies, patient organizations, private equity community. So these are just examples as network partners. Some spotlights now on our innovation thinking of EIT Health. If you have here the health value chain, so we have built up our innovation portfolio also in a proposal. We have handed in, and now in the first business plan also we try to picture in the same setting on these sectors. Here, covering these sectors. Yeah. So on activity services on mobile perspective, on workplace perspective, at home and at hospital. So usually in that direction. If you now include a different setting, so coming around with potential products and services in health and well-being. So very much early in the pipeline here, which you can really, in a healthy setting, in a very young setting, put here in this value chain. Then you have product, services, innovations for telehealth, apply sensors, usually here in an interconnection between workplace and home. Then you can think about telemedicine, e-health, mobile health, more or less the same like here. And medical devices, smart systems in the interconnection between at home and at hospital. Why I have here the same dimension, but one lower, one upper here, because we have a very important different dimension in the value chain, health value chain. This is the dimension here of payers. Here at the bottom we have patient, family, out of pocket as payers. Yeah, that is more or less this here. Then we have insurances, region, enterprises, and at the upper here we have social security, public bodies as payers. Okay? If you include then to that the time to market dimension, this is very strongly overlapping or connected to the payers dimension. Because if you have here a patient family out-of-pocket payer, then your time to market usually is very low. Yeah? Instead, if you have here social security public bodies where you really have to restore systems, change systems, you have a time to market. This is quite optimistic here. 5 years. You have a much higher time to market. And this is a really complicated dimension we have tried to cover in our proposal, and also now trying to cover in our projects activities in a business plan. This is then portfolio building. Not only projects on excellence, of course, this is the first step we are looking for, but then if you have same level of excellence in projects, we try to cover all these sectors also, if it's possible. And if you include the dimension of market values, These are numbers from 2012 and 2014 from US markets. Yeah. You have an overall market combining these four of 20 billion euros. So this is, of course, only rough estimations compared, but this is a really, really dramatically opportunity for individual partners. As I said, we try to cover these different sectors or pillars in our proposal, in our portfolio. Therefore, these are our focal areas for ERT health: promote healthy living, support active aging, and improve healthcare. So this value chain. And for each of these three pillars, we have described so-called the green ones, business objectives here, as examples. This are not exclusive ones, just as examples to make it more clear to interested partners. Yeah? And we have described example projects. These are really examples also, not exclusive, two for each pillar, as you can see, for healthy living, metabolic health, or active personal lifestyles, healthy brain or mobility throughout life for support active aging, on integrated cancer care, oncology is one example of chronic diseases, because chronic diseases are the main challenges in improved healthcare. So classical 4 or 5 chronic diseases, and coming as a best setting a sustainable continuum of care to support active living in Europe. These are just examples again. Yeah. In the proposal, and we use these examples we set in the proposal for the first open call, which is open now this year, but the topics will be different next year on the upcoming annual calls. This is a call which is open. We published in April 15th. Then June 1st, the online submission platform is available, and the submission deadline is June 22nd, so more or less 1 week. But this is definitely also learning for management and for the partners also. We very often have the answers or the feedback from partners that it's too fast, too early to come around with first projects. So nevertheless, well, academic or industry partners, the same. For the first call, we have focused here on 2 main kind of projects. One is called Innovation by Design. The other is called Innovation by Ideas. So one you should know is Innovation by Ideas, because this is the classical setting. In your national third-party funding or international EU third-party funding. This is idea-driven here. Bottom-up proposals, idea-driven, covering all 3 health, EIT health pillars I have shown you, the main pillars. The project can be led by any core or associate partner. Whereas Innovation by Design is more or less a top-down proposal, because it's driven by market or societal needs. This is the first step. You have very clearly to describe the market need you are focusing at. And therefore, such a project can be led by a non-academic core partner, which is most probably an industry core partner. Participation is open for every kind of project partner, but only the led here. These 2 projects I have talked about here, Innovation by Ideas and Innovation by Design, are the main pillars of our innovation portfolio, of our projects. We will have one additional project, pillar or portfolio, which is called Head Start project. These are fast-track project opportunities with focus on SMEs, startups. There is no open call, no deadline. This can be continuously awarded. Will be started in January 2016. These are small project, just around 50,000 euro, annual. It's, for example, is an SME is interested in a market research study, or connecting to an incubator, to an living lab test beds with a pilot project or something. Really short in time, up to 6 months or less, and low in funding, 50,000. It's a Head Start project. I have talked about here was about these EIT Health projects now. What we have in EIT Health, in addition to the innovation projects, we have this EIT Health Accelerator, and we will have the EIT Health Campus. The campus is more or less easy. This is about the education activities, the entrepreneurship activities. The accelerator I will explain to you in a few minutes. These are services for the innovation projects, to help the innovation projects to come up with outputs we have talked about. New products, new services. Both should be go along with the innovation projects, not individual settings. So really connecting each other also. Example here for the accelerator activities. You have one dimension, this is the value chain, the usual value chain to the market uptake, here in regard or in respect for the product or services, for the content of your project. Here you have the different target groups you can address with services. And what the accelerator tries to give you at hand are different services, activities in all these dimensions here, in a value chain and in a different target groups. Yeah? That means matchmaking services, if you are looking for distinct partners, ideation, project ideation services, connecting to living lab test beds, yeah, in an infrastructure basis, market access services here, or IP services, coming down to classical end market services activities like building up and connecting your project, your outcome to the private equity community, building up our own EIT Health private equity community, and also building up own business plan competitions, really focusing on a critical mass. This is about accelerator. I have also example here for education, for campus. So the EIT Health Campus is a concept or strategy is called the STELLA approach. STELLA is an acronym here. You can see here for these different SAP categories or SAP activities. And as you can see, you have classical ones, also here at the end. But you have also really more or less new ones, innovative ones coming from US or whatever here, massive open online courses, alumni. The focus is, of course, always on entrepreneurship, training, coaching on entrepreneurship with different tools, different target groups, different coaches, and the difference is also the output. Yeah? The output should also be focused on these product services. I have brought you with one example, maybe a little bit more, not so fussy, a little bit more substantial. It's called the EIT Health Clinical Innovation Fellowships. This is one of the activities campus will start with. And it's adopted from the Stanford Biodesign program. Maybe some of you will know. In the last 2 years, during our proposal preparation time, some substantial partners of InnoLife, of EIT Health, already adopted on a national setting these Stanford Biodesign program. For example, partners from Barcelona with the Mebio program, partners from Scandinavia have adopted this, and partners here from Ireland on national setting. What we will try now, or what the aim is, to put this now in an European setting with our EIT Health structure. And the stuff about is that you have cross-disciplinary teams which are needs-driven approach and integration of end users' environment. What does that mean? This clinical fellowship. These are the cross-disciplinary teams. You have really artists, you have business people, you have scientists, of course, also, health specialists, but really also different thinkings. The most important thing is that it's multidisciplinary teams. And these teams, first of all, are built up by applications, then sent into the clinic, into hospitals, and identify needs in the hospitals. Needs of the hospital in the process, in the daily process, but also needs of the patients within the hospital. And then they select some essential needs where they are convinced they can deliver a solution for. They prepare for that need our own solution with a business plan, which they present for an audience, for venture capitalists, private equity community, and will be awarded, maybe, if you have a real process for that need. So this is the thinking behind. And the experience shows us that based on these multidisciplinary teams, you have quite different solutions in these daily challenge setting than only sending in healthcare specialists or scientists. So, I'm quite ready. I have a few slides open, but I think due to the fact that we will have some questions, Q&A session around, I can step forward to the oh, sorry, this is the wrong direction. To the more or less final one. This is this one here. This is a timeline again in a different graphical view for our 2015 challenge here. Now, especially for the open call, and build up the project portfolio for the first business plan here for September. What is important for me here to show you is that this year, I have shown you at the beginning of my talk that we start in December 2014, that we were informed that we are the winner. And then we have to start 2 weeks later, January, 3 weeks later, building up this whole process. So we have no full year for preparation, which is different now for the next years. That means that for 2016, we will start end of this year. Yeah? By October, November, we will start with forum ideation workshops for the 2016 calls, for the next year calls, just really to connect the partners more effectively. This is at least one hope, or one learning process. And my last slide is about what our challenge and our overall aim is. In a past, we have seen all the aging society as a patient. And we will see these not as a patient, or our aim is to see the potential of this aging society in Europe, coming around with new exciting ideas, products, services for the health sector in Europe. Thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, it's working now. So we have time for 2 questions. So if people want to step forward with some questions? I can get things started with a question, and then people will warm up, hopefully. So one thing that seems to me a big challenge when having 140 partners, or more than that, is the issue of information dissemination, right, and communication. And how do we actually learn what are the... I get these questions a lot, right? So I have this role now as leading innovation, the innovation in relation to IT health here at the university, and people ask me a lot, where do I find my partners? You know, where are the right partners for me? And usually my reply is, you should know because it's your area, and it's difficult for me to know, but there could be a better answer if there was some way of having this more structured. Is that thought out? Is there a...
So first of all, of course, very important question. So this is essential that the community is an active one. So two main answers. First, structures also for communication are also currently built up. That means starting from homepages. So for every CLC, for every InnoStars, at the moment the international one is now online or active, but only the international one. We will have also homepages for the CLCs, also with social community, social interactive opportunities. We will have these platforms for matchmaking platform, which we used for one event in Munich 2 months ago, but this will be built up on a continuous level. So the tools are not ready all. So on one hand, first. Second answer is each partner or all partners have to think around a little bit different to the classical setting, meaning it's not their own task to come around with partners. They really should ask actively their service providers, and the service providers are the CLCs, the InnoStars offices. If they are looking for an industry, an SME partner, a special technology partner, they can address this request to the offices. So offices are connected, very close, and can spread that to the community. And then they come back. Now, this is also a learning process. Really proactively ask and come around.
I think that's going to be extremely important. And in fact, also what happens is people often do know what their partners are, for example, in academia, because this is what we do all the time, but they might not know in industry that company might be very interested in this. So that would be, I think, very, very important for the success of things. And I think, of course, online is the answer, right? If it's online, it's there, but if not, it's... I mean, you can do conferences and so on, but only a limited number of people can go to those. So we have time for one more question. I have another question, but I don't want to take up all the questions. So, okay, so my other question was, in relation to, I see a lot of quantitative goals, for example, the number of business ideas incubated, the number of... But, of course, there's an issue of quality as well here that is very important, right? So if we incubated Google, that would be worth a lot of other... a Google in the healthcare system, that will be worth a lot of other things. So what is the thinking on that and how to try to ensure that those high-quality ones rise to the top?
Do you mean by the idea or by the progress of a project?
Yeah, I meant in terms of the goals, right? So we have a focus on the number of businesses that are going to be created, the number of startups, the number of ideas incubated. But some of them might bring a lot of added value, others might bring very little. And so somehow it seems that the focus should be on those that should bring a lot of added value.
Yes, yes and no. First, yes, of course. Yes, this first part is more or less easy to measure because we will have on these project pipeline or activity pipelines also the classical reporting, yeah, towards EIT for the management, but also for the projects towards our management. What is the output in terms of milestones, planned milestones, and so. So these quantitative measures is more or less homework. Yeah. So the qualitative one is, of course, at least on a same level important. And for example, yeah, to judge on the ideas, we go not into an internal evaluation now for these calls, for the incoming ideas. We do that the same way on a EU perspective, or, you know, really to use external reviewers, external evaluators for these ideas on a qualitative basis. Of course, on a transparent setting of criteria, of common criterias, but these are done by external objective evaluators, mixed by academia and business.
So what I was wondering about is the whole process, if you want to bring, because something can get into this at a relatively early stage, but grow. So let's suppose it starts by an innovation, by idea, but then it becomes a startup, and then it becomes a more successful startup, and so on. And how it can go through the process, potentially in this, until, you know, it's completely ready for.
Yeah, for that, so our own services and community is very essential. Meaning, for the services are these accelerator services, really to help the outcomes and the projects, the partners, the PIs, to go along this chain with these services stepwise, and the community, for example, in any point you need, or some point you need private equity. Yeah? And we have learned, as you said, in our national setting from my past experience, from the German Bayern cluster experience, that the critical mass of venture capital, of private equity, is really interested in high value presentations for them. That does mean that I will not step over from US for a minimal setting of regional fragmented business plan competitions, that it's senseless for them. And therefore we are really building up on these European perspectives on health values, and we are convinced that on that setting we also can really improve this private equity community to take over. Not on a negative setting, take over the IP, but okay.
Well, let's thank our speaker for the very interesting presentation.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Portanto, às 11 horas começamos, agora é o intervalo.